know from our small-scale testing and our research that it takes a minimum 6% fuel-to-air mix for methane and air to support ignition. The way we've got it planned out, if we take the contents of this methane tank and put it in our test room, we'll have the right fuel-air mix. So it's just a question of connecting the flame that we've built in there with that gas. If that happens, she's going to blow.
How are we going to get a long, burning, open flame? Well, we're throwing out the toaster and the magazine, and we're going with a supermarket fireplace log. Light this puppy on fire, it'll burn for at least an hour. This is for real.
The log will burn while the gas builds to the 6% ratio.
That's it.
But when it hits the stoichiometric zone, will they get the bad guy repelling detonation of the movie? Adam has his doubts.
What's going to happen exactly? Well, look, we know that the ideal mixture of air to flammable gas is a ratio, and it has a range. Presumably, the reaction we're going to get out of this next experiment will be a reaction at the bottom of that range. So I don't expect it to be a fire and brimstone massive explosion. I expect it to be more like a really big champagne pop, like pah!
Back in the safety of the bunker, at first, things go just as planned.
Did you leave a log burning on the kitchen table? Oh, crap, I did.
But in a dramatic turn of events, after 4 minutes...
Oh, you know what's happening? The gas is actually making the whole room catch on fire.
things suddenly get incendiary.
I see smoke on the...
Oh, we're burning this building down.
And out of control.
Uh-oh. There we go, we had a blowout. That's it! Well, I don't know if we're putting this building out.
Oh, we should get up there with the hose.
All right, let's turn off the gas.
Gas is off.
The MythBusters initiate the safety protocols
Watch out.
and cautiously approach their apartment inferno.
Don't go in.
I'm not seeing any flame.
There's the hole we blew.
It may not have been the blast of the movie,
It's a horror show in there.
but the methane sure made a mess of the apartment.
Unlike your typical, it was clear that the gas made the atmosphere in here really rich, and so the fire started burning much hotter and higher than it normally would have with just straight air. So all of a sudden the fire's going up and reaching the ceiling, and you could see smoke coming out of the top, and then the mixture hit the bottom of the stoichiometric range, and we saw this whomp across the whole room. I'm seeing broken glass on a bunch of windows, on the back double doors. It's clear that we got a significant reaction, but nothing close to what we saw in the movie.
Nothing close to a kaboom, but certainly enough of a conflagration to distract the bad guys.
It's really clear from all the melted plastic in there, and even our exhaust fans melted. It got super crazy hot in there very quickly. I mean, just the whole room was absolute. I didn't even know what temperature it could be at, but it was really hot.
But you know we're not going to leave it there.
No.
Now, when we empty this tank into that house, that means that we'll have just over 9% methane to air in there. And that happens to be the butter zone for an explosion.
The guys know from small scale that 9% netted them the most energetic boom. But this is large scale. Will this test rip apart the apartment Bourne style? Before they blow it up, they need to spruce it up.
We've swapped out all the windows and doors. All these holes that got warped and opened, we're gonna actually lay in a bunch of stripping. We've probably tripled the cohesive strength of this building, and that ought to give us just the boom we're looking for.
When we first put this building together, I was impressed at how poorly we were able to do it. And yet, I think we've made it even worse.
Even worse. But for this attempt, they're doing things slightly differently.
Jamie's known for how he handles his fans.
This time around, I'm running the methane into the house through this hose that I've attached to the floor, and I've drilled a lot of little holes in the hose so that we'll get these jets of gas coming out that will mix with the air that is being pushed across them with these fans. Kind of like a blender.
Just mix the air all along.
Yeah. This swirling mass of air, I'm hoping will distribute this fuel-air mix throughout the room, and hopefully that'll make the difference between a poof and a bang.
Jamie's fantastic method will circulate the methane throughout the apartment. And with the dangerous ratio of 9% gas to air, they'll need something more sophisticated for ignition.
We don't need a toaster and a magazine anymore because we need precise control over when we set the fire. So we've brought back out the neon transformer from the small scale testing with the addition of a little piece of paper here. Go ahead and plug it in. We're going to be able to set a fire exactly when we want to set a fire.
Exactly when they achieve the Goldilocks ratio of 9% methane to air.
Fans are rolling. That's the last piece of the puzzle. Shall we get to a safe place and go boom?
Yeah.
Awesome. Let's turn on the gas.
Okie dokie.
All right, we got about 5 minutes. Let's get to the bunker. Fire in the hole.
Hopefully.
Actually, I think they need a new signal for us. It'd be like, fire in the hole, hopefully. Fire in the hole, hopefully.
Hopefully is right. The precise stoichiometric ratio should be enough to detonate their apartment. So our fire starters take cover as the methane fills the room.
Well, we're down below 20 cubic feet per minute, and we're about 100 psi. So I'm thinking we should go whenever you're ready.
All right.
With the room filled with 9% methane, will this finally yield the Hollywood blowout?
All right, here we go. Ideal gas-air mixture, Bourne explosion in 3, 2, 1. Oh, yeah! That is awesome! We blew out the whole front.
Yeah,
We couldn't have done that if we planned.
that was perfect.
And there you have it. One magnificent, made-to-order apartment explosion. But unlike the movie detonation, this one is polite enough to put itself out. Well, almost.
I hope this is a cautionary tale what happens when you mix MythBusters with science.
Okay, here's the thing. While that was fairly exciting, I mean, we blew out the wall, I want to point out that we didn't break any glass. There was no bang. It was a whoosh. And that's something entirely different than what we saw in the movie. The fact that this was an ideally mixed mixture with fans and everything in the exact quantity, and that's the best we could do, kind of tells you what the real deal is. It's not what the movie showed.
Clearly, we were born for this job.
Yeah, but it's kind of too bad. That was a nice view in that house.